What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 34 of Park to Prem here with Nottingham Forest. Today we've got a couple of huge games, the conclusion of what has been a turbulent Champions League campaign. It's not been plain sailing, 2 wins, 2 losses. There's a lot to happen today and a lot to go on today. We've got these 2 games, as I've already mentioned, and regardless of what happens in the first game, it is going to go down to the final day because of how the fixtures are structured. Of course, last episode we took on Dortmund. If you missed that, go watch it. It was entertaining, I'd like to think. And well, today we are back with more. But before we get into the first of 2 games, let's talk about what's been going on off the pitch. And well, if you were to just look at the recent form, there's lots of red. Yeah, don't like the look. Lots of red. It doesn't look very pretty, does it? But yeah, since you were last here, we played 2 games. We won one 3-1. We lost one 3-1. We beat Everton away from home. Of course, Everton were relegated a couple of years ago, promoted back to the Premier League. Convincing win in this one. Really nice to see Amlo get a hat-trick. Of course, he was coming back from a long-term injury. Their goalkeeper had a bit of a nightmare. But a good win nevertheless. And in the second game, well, the complete opposite. We lost 3-1, and to be fair, I feel like the result flattered them a little bit. Am I allowed to say? I'm saying it, everyone. 3 goals in the space of 7 minutes kind of ruined it for us. We got a late consolation, but it was exactly that. Not a good day in the office, that is for sure. Anyway, off the pitch, of course, last episode, I left things with the dilemma of, should I sign Gonzalez from Levante? In the end, I went for it, and if what's been happening hadn't been happening, I wouldn't have been going for it just yet. My initial plan was to delay this transfer for as long as I could, because of course the board negotiated it. I thought, I'll delay it, I'll look at other options, we'll see what happens. Obviously, I've signed him. Why have I signed him, you might ask? I'll tell you why. Because I got a news inbox item through talking about a possible takeover at the club. And of course, because this was a board-sanctioned transfer, if a takeover happened and we went into a transfer embargo, that deal just wouldn't happen, and I was too scared about missing out on Gonzalez. So he is joining us. The board takeover, it might happen. It might just be a rumour, but I wasn't going to take any chances. Ultimately, I just feel like he's far, far too good. We compared him to Amlo before previously, but let's just do it again to remind ourselves how good Gonzalez is. Yeah, he's very, very good, everyone. I do feel like there is probably room for both players within the squad itself, but obviously Amlo is valued at close to 60 million. I do wonder if I was to, I don't know, cast out my net over in January and see if we get any nibbles, if anyone might take us up on an offer for him. Is that blasphemy for me to be considering selling him? Maybe. Anyway, one other little bit of news off the pitch that I want to talk about before we get into today's game is with Luis Navio, who is improving a lot, but I've got a bit of an issue. And the bit of the issue is that obviously this year, Silva's come in at centre-back. We've got Piotr at centre-back. I don't love Navio's jumping reach. He's not grown either, which is a real shame. I was desperately hoping his jumping reach would grow and would change. And I know some people are probably thinking, Jack, that's like a mental thing to hope will just happen. And obviously, normally I would agree, but I want to show an example here of what can happen with Jake Shaw. Now, Jake Shaw is a 20-year-old that we have, and I'm just going to show you his jumping reach progress, everyone, because for all the people who think jumping reach can't just change, he went from 15 jumping reach to 20 jumping reach in the space of a year and a half. So growth spurts happen. Players can learn to jump. It's possible, everyone. Unfortunately, it's not happened with Navio. In fact, I don't think his jumping reach has moved since he kind of came into the club. So with that in mind, we are now training him to play at complete wing-back out on the left-hand side. I want to try and make him pretty versatile for us. I don't know if he'll ever be a starter, but in terms of as the ultimate defender on the bench who just ticks all the boxes, plays every role, every position, he's not a world away from being able to achieve that. Obviously, he's left-footed, which is why I want to train him to play left-back. If we just look at him here, besides, a few slightly obvious gaps in his game, flair, off the ball, crossing and dribbling, his physicals are superb, his mentals are great for the role, some of his technicals as well are exceptional, to be frank. I think he could end up being this really good versatile option for us without being... I guess he's a jack of all trades, master of none. That's what I'm trying to say about Navio. But yeah, just a little shift in his development. Going to be interesting to see how quickly he does pick up that new position. But anyway, today we've got a big game against Atletico Madrid. And with that in mind, you'll notice that my best 11, if I was to go with it, I can't pick because Lind, He's out injured. Now, of course, I dropped him last episode anyway, but obviously with this injury, he's dropped even further down the pecking order. And unfortunately, due to European restrictions, Gary Healy, who's probably the third choice kind of deep line playmaker on the bench, he is not available, sadly for us. So with that in mind, I think we've got a choice to make between Cameron Ferguson and Damani Grimes. Now, I already have a few centre-backs who can play centre-mid, so I think we'll go with Cameron Ferguson, who, obviously, I've been really excited about. I've been giving him first-team football. Worth noting, he has been dropped from the Scottish national team down to the under-21s, and he missed a penalty against Tottenham about a month ago. Not forgiving him for that, but he's on the bench for today's game. Maybe he's turned a corner. Maybe, he's had his time out. We've kept him out the first team, made him sit on the naughty step. Maybe he can come back into the team today and show us something a little more positive. That would be nice. On off the bench, he could get the winner against Atletico Madrid. It's in the script. Anyway, let's get into this. I already talked about it, but this game, it's not going to define everything in terms of our Champions League group, but it would be quite useful to get a good result here, because we could end up losing the ability to control our own fate. Now, Atletico Madrid, after 4 games, currently sit bottom of the group on 1 point. We've already beaten them. We've already shown that we are superior, but they have been going pretty well in the league, and I am expecting them to put up a bit of a fight. Obviously, it's kind of ourselves, Milan, and Dortmund fighting it out at the top. Today's second game of the episode is going to be against Milan. So it's big. It's big. If Atletico Madrid beat us, obviously we will stay on a slightly lower points total. If we win and Milan win, then suddenly, we're ahead of Dortmund, hoping Atletico can do us a job. I was about to go into all the different permutations. There's too many, everyone. There is too many possible outcomes here. We'll get to the final day and we'll worry about it. Basically, 3 teams separated by 2 points, all playing one another. It's a blooming mess. It's a cocktail of possibilities. We'll have to see what possibilities we do end up with. It's worth noting that game is going to be played later than this game. So we'll do this game, and we'll hit continue and hope that RNGesus is in our favour, as Amlo has a chance, and Van Dijk has got another assist to his name, but it was an absolute gift. That came from nothing. The goalkeeper, I don't want to criticise a goalkeeper's distribution too much here, but this might be up here with one of the worst goal kicks I've ever seen. Van Dijk with the interception, threads through Amlo, and it's an unorthodox finish, the little dink into the bottom corner. But 4 minutes gone, we're in the lead, which is what we should be expecting to do here. Of course, you can see here, if results kind of go in our favour, I was about to say if they go in our favour, we'll stay top. We won't stay top, I've just realised. It's physically impossible. But at the moment, albeit with the other 2 teams yet to play, we're top of the group, everyone. We're the best team in this group for now. That it's just not true, is it, though? Anyway, Van Dijk. He's on a redemption arc, is Van Dijk. I feel like he started slowly. I've been very critical, and he stepped up and looked very good here. Anyway, we've got a chance. Regina on the overlap, on the right-hand side. Players in the middle. Amlo is there. He's in a goal-scoring frenzy right now. He had 4 goals in 2 games coming into this one. He's got 2 here already. He wants another hat-trick. He wants to follow in the footsteps of Wilson Samake, who scored, I think it was something like 4 or 5 hat-tricks in 6 games. A little bit of a long road still to do that, but he's scoring goals, everyone. I will say, however, I'd quite like the goals to be spread around a little bit more. Does anyone else ever get that feeling? You're playing Football Manager and there's one player that you feel like you're too reliant on. I do feel a little like that at the moment. But you know what? Let's embrace the positivity of the moment. We are dominating, and they've not had a shot on target. It's plain sailing, which for us is kind of a rarity. I feel like so far this season, we've played a lot of games, obviously, in episodes, and it's not really been cool, calm or collected at any point. It's always been nervy. There's always been stuff on the line. I can't really recall a time where we've had a 2-goal cushion, except from when we played against Arsenal that time and then we lost 3-2. So I know that this result isn't enough. We've got to stay at our best, but so far, so good. And I do feel like the 4-4-1-1 that they're playing, it kind of suits us quite nicely, actually. We're playing quite nicely into that. Anyway, Regina to Ricketts. What can he do? Give it back to Regina. Roger. Amlo. Oh my word, a save to deny the hat-trick. It was a really good save, actually, by Bomber in goal for them. Of course, we are at home for our last 2 games of the Champions League, this being the first of them. So I'm hoping that with our fans behind us, that we can do it. You know, the City Ground, it's an imposing place to come to. And we've not lost here yet in the Champions League, albeit we only beat Dortmund 1-0 when we played here. But it has been dominant, to the point where I'm actually considering rotating things for the sake of fitness. Smith and Erk have been poor today. You know what? Stevie Secker, come out on the right. Marcelo, come on. We'll move Van Dijk out onto the left inverted winger position and then play Marcelo down the middle. I do feel a bit for Marcelo, because I remember at one point last year saying he's not going to become our Gabriel Jesus. We're not going to be like Pep Guardiola. He's going to get chances. I'm going to be honest, he's not really got the chances that I promised him. And then obviously we've got Gonzalez joining us from Levante as well in the striking department. Might be a player who needs to go out on loan. Maybe he's more of an Iheanacho rather than a Gabriel Jesus. I mean, that's a sobering thought, isn't it? Anyway, 18 minutes left here. They are having some opportunities. They are having chances. So with that in mind, and for my own peace of mind, it's time to get shouty. We could get one more. Then I'll relax. Then I'll enjoy myself. Amlo, do it for me, mate. Get your hat-trick. He's gone on his own. It's a huge tackle in. Calafiori just runs it out of play everywhere. He's got the blinkers up. He's not paying attention to what's going on around him. Just runs it out of play. Things you love to see from your left-back. I feel like of all the positions that we have, Calafiori at left-back is the one where he's fine, and wing-backs are hard to find in Football Manager, but he doesn't wow me. I mean, here he is again. What's he going to do? Wow me, Calafiori. Do something spectacular. Marcelo, big ball up to Amlo. Can he tuck this away? No, it would have been offside. It wouldn't have counted. It was offside anyway. Why show me the highlight? Regina, maybe a long throw incoming here. It's going to be one. Van Dijk's there. And I'll tell you what, he's channeled a bit of his inner Virgil there, has Van Dijk. Which Van Dijk is playing for us right now? It's only his third goal of the year. And that should be that. Regina, big throw forward. And, I mean, he just flicked it on, hasn't he? Defenders don't track him. And it's a good header. He grew up watching Virgil van Dijk. Now he gets to do it on the pitch. It's a beautiful story of Football Manager. They've now decided, at this point, you know, at 3-0 down with 5 minutes left, Atletico have realised maybe we should play a 4-2-4. If I'm not mistaken, with this result here, though, we're going to be guaranteed a Europa League spot, everyone. So there is more European football to come this year. I don't know why I'm punching the air as I say that, as it's some kind of triumphant achievement. Amlo. Options on your right. Let's humiliate them, Amlo. Get your hat-trick, lad. Get your hat-trick. He kicks it straight at Bomber's hands. Is Bomber any good for them? I only assume he's a regen goalkeeper. I feel bad for him. He is quite good. Apparently my scouts have looked at him. 60 million. It's a little much, though. To be fair, he's conceded 3 today, so maybe that's not the best indicator of how good he is, but we've played very well. That was surprisingly dominant, dare I say. I feel like that was a game that never really looked in doubt. And as I said, it's the earlier game, so now we get to hit continue, excitedly waiting for a result in that other game. Now, considering possibilities, I actually don't know what the best result for us is, which might sound a little bizarre. I'm not sure what is the best result for us in that other game. So Milan and Dortmund play each other, and we have Milan to play. You have to assume that Dortmund are going to beat Atletico, right? I think so. Maybe Dortmund to win is probably our best result in terms of guaranteeing us a spot in the in the kind of knockout stages of the Champions League. If we want to finish top of the group and get a theoretically easier game, we're probably hoping that Milan beat Dortmund, and then that we can beat Milan. But if Milan beat Dortmund, we have to get a result against Milan, or Dortmund will very likely leapfrog us. What I'm realising here as I list off all the possibilities is that essentially we've just got to go and do it ourselves. And wow, Milan did beat Dortmund in the very last kick of the game, pretty much. Shall we take a look at it? Can we take a look at it? It happened in the 93rd minute. Milan playing their 4-2-3-1. Of course, we fell victim to that earlier on in the group stage. I want to see this goal by Sotil. It was in the last minute, the last kick of the game. What it means is that we probably have to go to Atletico Madrid. Sorry, not to Atletico Madrid. Have to play AC Milan and get a result. If we draw, Dortmund are probably going to win. The goalkeeper has not tried there. I don't want to call into question match fixing in the group. I've got questions. I've also got fears. And those fears are we have to do something pretty special in this last game. Although, Milan have already rotate your team, Milan. Rotate your team. Don't worry about finishing top. You've done fine. Either way, I'm rambling on. We've got games to play before I come back. Milan, final game of the Champions League group stage. It's our return to the Champions League. It'd be disastrous not to make the knockouts. Let's go see if we can make it happen. Okay guys, we are back. Game number 2 of today's episode, and it's not been the ideal circumstances in terms of preparations. And you might think, Jack, what does that mean? Does that mean that you've had injuries? Does that mean that the form hasn't been good? It kind of means both those things, but perhaps most importantly, a Football Manager update just released. So, because there's a Football Manager update out, the match engine is going to have changed slightly. It's always a thing that happens. Who knows? Is our tactic going to still be as effective as it was? Maybe it'll get better. That would be the dream, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Not, as I said, not really ideal for this to be the first game in the new match engine, but maybe it will be kind to us. Of course, we're taking on Milan. If we draw here, if you were wondering, that is probably not going to be enough if Dortmund win. Obviously, if Dortmund and Atleti draw, fantastic. If we beat Milan, we're top of the group, and that would be even better in this group of death. Worth noting, we have played a few games since you were last here. These were in the old match engine. I only downloaded the latest update of Football Manager after the Sheffield United game, which, if you're sat here and you didn't get the memo, the winter update's out. So there's some transfer updates, there's some general quality of life fixes, that kind of stuff. And, well, just looking here, we beat Newcastle 2-0, Marcelo and Van Dijk with the goals. We then beat Watford 6-2. This was a weird game, but as you can see here, Dr. Medj grabbed 2, Amlo with a hat-trick again. I mentioned, jokingly, could he get all those hat-tricks like Samake did once upon a time? I mean, he's not getting hat-tricks, but he is getting a lot of goals as of late. And most recently, we took on Sheffield United, took a risk in this game. I rotated the whole team. You could argue it's a risk. You could argue it was kind of a calculated throw. Essentially, I needed to rotate everyone. Fatigue was bad. I wanted to go into this Milan game with the best possible chance of winning. Of course, if we somehow end up third in the group after today's game, I'm going to look back on this match and kind of regret the fact that I did rotate the team as I did. Sheffield United VRB team, 4-0. Not very pretty. Just looking at where that leaves us in the Premier League. We are in 4th, but you can see here, Wolverhampton Wanderers leading the way. We actually beat them earlier on in the year, 3-2. But Chelsea with a game in hand, only 1 point behind them. And we're a little bit off the pace right now. And there's a few teams breathing quite hotly down our necks. Also, Amlo, top goal scorer in the league. Hopefully he's going to get some goals for us. I almost feel a little bit bad about the fact I've signed Gonzalez. Like, Have I done him dirty there by just agreeing to sign Gonzalez? Let me know. Also, Scouts doing a really good job for us. They've picked up this guy who we are trying to sign because he's on a youth contract, so we could just approach to sign him. His name is Aureli Betziel Gonzalez. I think we'll just call him Gonzalez, everyone. He looks really blooming good, though. Super well-rounded, really good mentals, really good physicals on the whole. Not the tallest player in the world. And if you're wondering how we found him, we did via our scouting assignments, which isn't something I ever talk about in too much detail. But for people wondering how I've got it all set up, I recently did a little bit of an overhaul, restarted a load of assignments, and essentially I've just got a load of ongoing scouts in different continents around the world, a few focused in the UK specifically, and one looking at Champions League games. So yeah, that's a little bit about how I've got stuff set up. I mean, occasionally they're throwing up some pretty good players, other times not so good players by comparison, to be fair. Lewis Dark, I feel bad for him. He's gone off to Asia, and there is a little bit of a lack of Asian talent by comparison. But they're throwing up some interesting names. They're throwing up some good names. Most of these players, like Ahmed Taha, I'm never going to be able to sign. He's one of the best players at Liverpool's kind of academy. Don't see them selling him to me anytime soon. But anyway, enough about talking about youngsters. That doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things today. We need to beat Milan. Obviously, when we played them previously, it was a pretty close game. I'm hoping here at home we're going to give them a good match. In terms of team selection, it's a full strength 11. They've had a week of rest because of that rotation against Sheffield United. I'm hoping that today we're going to put in a performance to remember. That's the dream. That's the hope. Will it happen? Well, we're about to find out. And after that last game, which was a pretty convincing win in the end against Atleti, I'm hoping that against Milan here, we can, just cruise to like a 2-0. A 2-0 would be lovely. Anyway, you can see here, welcome to the City ground. I'm scared, everyone. I'm scared. This is nerve-wracking. But we come in with the best possible preparation in terms of rest. Their team, it's lots of real players, all things considering. Some very good kind of hot prospects and wonder kids of the world. Obviously, we're on 9 points. So the big thing for us is, if Dortmund win, we have to win. That is the circumstances in their simplest form, everyone. I'm nervous for this. I am nervous for this. But yeah, first game in the new match engine. Football Manager, be kind to me. Be kind to me. What's happening here? Van Dijk lays it off first time to Silva. Right, we've got a highlight. So throw in our half, which I'm not a massive fan of seeing to begin with. And the ball's whipped in. Piotr, he leaps like a salmon to get it away. Could we break here? We've got a 4-on-2 potentially. Adrian Smith, go on, my son. Go on, my son. Oh, my word, the keeper. Benelli spills his effort, parries it round the post, but he looked a bit flustered. He looked a bit panicked in goal there. I don't think he was certain that his save was going to result in it going wide of the post. So first highlight in our favour. I'd argue that we've looked pretty good there to start things off. Not having a whole lot of the ball inside the first 10 minutes, but we've got a chance here. Calafiori throws it in. Smith's there. I mean, they've not changed any long throw stuff, have they? Also, did you notice on the little goal notification, it tells you who assisted the goal? Did anyone else? That's the best change in the update, everyone. For everyone who has stopped playing Football Manager 21 because it didn't tell you who assisted the goal when it was scored, it's fixed, everyone. Rejoice. Be happy. They've listened to you. I can't say it ever bothered me, like, to the point where I didn't want to play the game anymore. But it is quite nice to have it back. Calafiori gets, he gets a little bit of the spotlight for the assist there. Anyway, 25 minutes gone. We're 1 goal up. Got a corner here as well. Ricketts to whip it in, maybe. Silva's there. Leaps. Heads it. Erk's there at the back post to divert it goalward. Silva's header on goal was going wide. Kursat Erk is not the player who should be winning headers like that. That is not his job. That is not his responsibility. But he's uncontested. And he's made sure it's gone in. I'll tell you what, he's jumped very, very high there. Erk, what is your jump... Sorry, Erk, what is your jumping reach? Your jumping reach is... He looked like he leapt like a blooming gazelle there. Erk, 6 jumping reach. Have a day off. 16 more like. Anyway, 2 goals up. I said I'd take 2-0. I'll take 3-0 at this point, Mr. Football Manager. I like the fact I'm talking to Football Manager like it's a sentient being that can hear me. Although, I do have a conspiracy theory that the game does listen in on what you say. You know how Google listen in for keywords and stuff and target you with ads based off that, on your phone or whatever? I think Football Manager listens, and what happens on the pitch is dependent on what you say. Like if I say now, Amlo, I'd really like Amlo to score a goal, please, Football Manager. I'd really like Amlo to score... I mean, nearly happened. I reckon because I asked for it, they didn't make it happen. I reckon he scores if I don't mention it. I don't know if that was even a shot by Amlo, but we've got another chance here. Smith, oh my word. Adrian Smith, assisted by Van Dijk. And if there were question marks over 2 set-piece goals, we've now scored a goal from open play. This is a demolition job, everyone. I love the new match engine. It's great. It's a great update to the game, everyone. I feel like everyone's opinion on the Football Manager kind of updates is determined by your first result. So, as far as I'm concerned, best update to Football Manager ever. Love it. Great game. But no, seriously, 3-0 up here after 30 minutes. Obviously, I know that home advantage is quite significant in Football Manager. I feel like I never really appreciated the importance of it as they go close to scoring. Musa wide of the post. But if you've watched any of the Streamer Showdown stuff, which if you don't know, it's like an online streamer tournament. It's actually going on this weekend on Twitch. So, maybe check it out over on my Twitch channel. On Thursday, we have the draft. Saturday, Sunday, we have the games. That's your little PSA for people who maybe watched it last time and don't know it's on again. It's happening again this weekend, everyone. But in that tournament, originally there was kind of home and away games, and the kind of advantage of home versus away when you've got 2 people with similarly good teams was quite surprising, like the home advantage that the game had. So I feel like I really respect it a bit more now. Obviously, in real life, home advantage definitely is a thing. It exists. There is no denying that, at least for the majority of teams. And in Football Manager, it continues to be a thing, and I certainly will never kind of not appreciate it. I feel like previous years I maybe didn't. Anyway, Calafiori, we've had 1 long throw goal. Could we have another? No, Benelli holds on to it this time. What's going on here? I mean, Amlo has nearly blocked that and it's gone into the goal, but the short distribution was stopped, I suppose. But we've been given the ball straight away. Through to Amlo. Could he score it? Should he score it? He will score it. 4-0. Demolition job. We're finishing top of this group, everyone. The group of death. We are going to escape it in the number 1 spot. And that's pretty good. I mean, Ricketts' ball here is great. Whips it. Finds a gap. Amlo latches onto it. Tucks it away. Oh, we're bloody brilliant, everyone. I don't want to exaggerate, but I think we can win the Premier League and Champions League this year now. They've yet to have a shot on target, although their XG's been pretty good. They did have that one really good chance where they broke through. Anyway, Regina, long throw forward. Maybe he had 6 jumping reach that time. Benali has it. I mean, what is this? One day that is going to get kicked straight at Amlo for a goal, and I'm all for it. Smith. Pull it back. He doesn't need to pull it back. Goal number 2 of the game for Adrian Smith. It's 5-0. I feel like I should be making some subs, but everyone's playing well except Dr. Medj. Okay, Tudor, you can come on in. Van Dijk. Thing is, I kind of want to keep Van Dijk on to, give him some confidence. He's got a few assists. Calafiori's tired. Let's take him off. And also Navio at right back can come in. That's what we'll do. Our fullbacks are on bookings. They're a little bit tired. They can clock off early tonight. Your shift's done, lads. Oh my word, they give us the ball again. Smith, Amlo. Where are you going, Amlo? I mean, referee. Last man, Shirley. Given a yellow. That feels generous to only give him a yellow there. But there's a corner, maybe? Not a corner. A free kick. Smith for the hat-trick. For the hat-trick, he hits the woodwork. Van Dijk is there for the rebound, though. What is happening? What is happening? Very weird. That's what's happening. Benelli tips against the crossbar, but Van Dijk is the fastest to react. Smith denied a hat-trick, but he's done pretty well as Smith this game. Oh, wait, no, Smith... I take it all back. Smith has a hat-trick. Adrian Smith, I would like to issue a public apology, mate, because I have not recognised the fact you've got a hat-trick in this game. I thought you were on 2. I can't count. That's how many goals there's been, everyone. It finishes 6-0 here, which probably flatters us, but we were the better team. He ends up on a 10.0. I'm really sorry, Adrian. I'm really sorry. I feel like I've done him dirty there by not recognising his greatness. He got at least 1 assist as well in that game. But yeah, new match engine and patch are fantastic. It looks like, actually, if I'm not mistaken in the end, the other game ended up in a draw for Dortmund. Did Dortmund draw? Did you draw against Atleti? They did. They drew 1-1. So we could have actually lost that game and still gone through at the end of the day. But don't let that distract you from the result, everyone. Adrian Smith, he's the best inverted winger out on the right-hand side the world has ever seen. That might be exaggerating slightly. Also, can PSG stop tapping up Regina? Like, it's a little bit infuriating at this point. I've set an asking price of 150 million. Milan want him, PSG want him, Arsenal. Go home, have a day off. Not for sale. Homegrown at club, fan favourite. Look, he's got the scarf. No chance I'm selling him. Anyway, guys, that wraps up the Champions League group stage for us. I feel like that's been a big focus of this season, but with the group that we got, with it being our first season as well, it kind of felt necessary to, keep a close eye on it. And ultimately, it's all been worth it. We have ended up finishing in top spot. Anyway, in terms of when we're going to be back next time, I think I'm going to go and play for a big chunk of the season. Looking ahead, we have got Chelsea and Wolves to play in mid-January. That might be a pretty good double-header to come back for, depending on if Wolves continue their charge and how Chelsea are getting on. I feel like this kind of season so far, there's been a fair few episodes, but there's been a lot going on. Obviously, in January, we are going to have Gonzalez joining us, which will be interesting. And although we are in the EFL Cup quarter-final, I don't really care about the competition that much. I'm sorry, no disrespect to the EFL Cup, but I've won it now. I don't need trophies for the sake of trophies. I want the big and proper cups. The Carabao Cup Massive are now coming for me, aren't they, for that statement? Anyway, gang, I'm going to wrap things up there for today. Thank you so much for watching, as always. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Let me know if you've been checking out the latest Football Manager update, what you make of it so far. I've not had too much time with it. This is literally the first game I've played on the update. It seems pretty good to me. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.